It is a dark and creepy night, but yet cars are going up and down the road. Black cats are down below, eating the scraps that I throw. I don't know how this video is going to turn out, but I can tell you that it is cloudy, it is foggy, and it is what I would call a great Halloween night. So why not read a Halloween story? Oops, I almost knocked this out of this old window. Okay, scary stories to tell in the dark. 3 books to chill your bones. This is great ASMR because you got this plastic. Pardon this old window. This is all going to be redone. So yeah, we've got some ladybugs that have died, so I need to clean that up. But all of this is going to be redone. We pulled the artwork, well, whatever you want to call it, that was on here, which was all leaves. So we stripped it because it's all going to be redone. So again, I ask you to pardon that. So anyhow, and you know, actually it kind of fits the theme. An old window ledge on a dark and foggy Halloweenish night. All right, so I'm just going to read a couple of Halloween stories. Let's see. All right, let's see what the first one is. Scary stories to tell in the dark. Strange and scary things. Is this a story or an introduction? Okay, that's an introduction. All right. Oh, this is creepy. Ah! This chapter is filled with jump stories you can use to make your friends jump with fright. All right. Okay, let's begin. The Big Toe. A boy was digging at the edge of the garden when he saw a big toe. He tried to pick it up, but it was stuck to something. So he gave it a good hard jerk, and it came off in his hand. Then he heard something groan and scamper away. The boy took the toe into the kitchen and showed it to his mother. "It looks nice and plump," she said. "I'll put it in the soup and we'll have it for our supper." That night, his father carved the toe into 3 pieces. Ooh. Creepy. Creepy. All right. Let's see here. And they each had a piece. Then they did the dishes. And when it got dark, they went to bed. The boy fell asleep almost at once. But in the middle of the night, a sound awakened him. It was something out in the street. It was a voice, and it was calling to him. "Where's my toe?" it groaned. When the boy heard that, he got very scared, but he thought, "It doesn't know where I am. It'll never find me. Where is my toe?" it groaned. The boy pulled the blankets over his head and closed his eyes. I'll go to sleep, he thought, and when I wake up, it will be gone. But soon he heard the back door open, and again he heard the voice. "Where is my toe?" It groaned. And then the boy heard footsteps move through the kitchen and into the dining room and into the living room and into the front hall. And then slowly they climbed the stairs closer and closer. They came. Soon they were in the upstairs hall. Now they were outside his door. "Where's my toe?" the voice groaned. His door opened. Shaking with fear, he listened as the footsteps slowly moved through the dark and toward his bed. Then they stopped. "Where's my toe?" the voice groaned. At this point, I'm supposed to pause and then jump at the person next to me and say, "You've got it!" The big toe also has another ending. When the boy hears the voice calling for its toe, he finds a strange-looking creature up inside the chimney. The boy is so frightened he can't move. He just stands there and stares at it. And finally he asks, "What do you got such big eyes for?" And the creature answers, "To look you through and through." Well, what you got such big claws for?" "To scratch up your grave." Well, what you got such a big mouth for?" "To swallow you whole." Well, what you got such sharp teeth for?" "To chop your bones." Oh, that was fun. All right, here's the next story. The Walk. My uncle was walking down a lonely dirt road one day. He came upon a man who also was walking down that road. The man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was scared of my uncle, and my uncle was scared of that man. But they kept on walking, and it began to get dark. The man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was very scared of my uncle, and my uncle was very scared of that man. But they kept on walking, and they came to a big woods. It was getting darker, and the man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was really scared of my uncle, and my uncle was really scared of that man. But they kept on walking, and deep down into the woods they went. It was getting darker, and the man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was terrible scared of my uncle, and my uncle was terrible scared of... Okay, that was not creepy at all. That was not creepy at all. All right. Let's try another one. What do you come for? There was an old man who lived all by... Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Let me redo that. There was an old woman who lived all by herself. And she was very lonely. Sitting in the kitchen one night, she said, "Oh, I wish I had some company." No sooner had she spoken that down in the chimney tumbled 2 feet from which the flesh had rotted. The old woman's eyes bulged with terror. Then 2 legs dropped to the hearth and attached themselves to the feet. Then a body tumbled down. Then 2 arms and a man's head. And the old woman watched the parts came together into a great gangling man. The man danced around and around the room. Faster and faster he went. And then he stopped and he looked into her eyes. "What do you come for?" she asked in a small voice that shivered and shook. "What do I come for?" he said. "I come for you." Okay, that one wasn't impressive. All right, let's see what this is. So there is a lot of activity going on tonight. Somebody must be looking for somebody, because that is a helicopter that keeps coming back and forth. So obviously somebody committed a dark, sinister crime tonight, and the police are on the lookout for them. So don't go out tonight. Don't go walking in the woods tonight. There is someone on the loose tonight. All right. Me Tai Do Tai Walker. I guess I'm saying that right. There was a haunted house where every night a bloody head fell down the chimney. At least that's what people said. So nobody would stay there overnight. Then a rich man offered $200 to whomever would do it. And this boy said he would try if he could have his dog with him. So it was settled. The very next night, the boy went into the house with his dog. To make it more cheerful, he started a fire in the fireplace. And then he sat in front of the fire and he waited, and his dog waited with him. For a while, nothing happened. But a little after midnight, he heard someone singing softly and sadly off in the woods. The singing sounded something like this: "Me Tai Do Tai Walker." It's just somebody singing, the boy told himself, but he was frightened. Then his dog answered the song softly and sadly. It sang, "Lynchy, Kinchy, Collie, Molly, Dingo, Dingo." The boy could not believe his ears. His dog had never uttered a word before. Then a few minutes later, he heard the singing again. Now it was closer and louder, but the words were the same. "Me Tai Do Tai Walker." This time, the boy tried to stop his dog from answering. He was afraid that whoever was singing would hear it and come after them. But his dog paid no attention, and again it sang, "Lynchy, Kinchy, Collie, Molly, Dingo, Dingo." And half an hour later, the boy heard the singing again, and now it was in the backyard, and the song was the same. "Me Tai Do Tai Walker." Again, the boy tried to keep his dog quiet, but the dog sang out louder than ever, "Lynchy, Kinchy, Collie, Molly, Dingo, Dingo." Soon the boy heard the singing again, and now it was coming down the chimney. Me die do die walker. And the dog sang right back, Lynchy kinchy collie molly dingo dingo. Suddenly, a bloody head fell out of the chimney. It missed the fire and landed right next to the dog. And the dog took one look and fell over, dead from fright. The head turned and stared at the boy. Slowly, it opens its mouth and... Ah! Oh my God, this is so corny, but I'm enjoying it. A man who lived in Leeds. Some say this rhyme doesn't mean anything. Others are not so sure. There was a man who lived in Leeds. He filled his garden full of seeds. And when the seeds began to grow, it was like a garden filled with snow. But when the snow began to melt, it was like a ship without a belt. And when the ship began to sail, it was like a bird without a tail. And when the bird began to fly, it was like an eagle in the sky. And when the sky began to roar, it was like a lion at my door. And when the door began to creak, it was like a penknife in my back. And when my back began to bleed, I was dead. Dead indeed. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at the moon now. Well, you might not be able to tell, but it's behind more trees, and it's like, it's behind more. And there's somebody walking with a light on a creepy, creepy night. All right, let me read this next one. Let's see what this is. Old woman, all skin and bone. There was an old woman, all skin and bone, who lived near the graveyard, all alone. Ooh, she thought she'd go to church one day to hear the parson preach and pray. Ooh, and when she came to the church house style, she thought she'd stop and rest a while. Ooh, when she came up to the door, she thought she'd stop and rest some more. Ooh, but when she turned and looked around, she saw a corpse upon the ground. Ooh, from its nose down to its chin, the worms crawled out and the worms crawled in. Ooh, the woman to the preacher said, "Shall I look like that when I am dead?" Ooh, the preacher to the old woman said, "You'll look like that when you're dead." Oh gosh. He heard footsteps coming up the cellar stairs. Oh my goodness. All right. I think I will read one more and then we will close this book of gore. The Thing. Ted Martin and Sam Miller were good friends. They spent a lot of time together. On this particular night, they were sitting on a fence near the post office, talking about one thing and another. There was a field of turnips across the road. Suddenly, they saw something crawl out of the field and stand up. It looked like a man, but in the dark, it was hard to tell for sure. Then it was gone. But soon it appeared again, and it walked halfway across the road. And then it turned around and it went back into the field. And when it came out a third time and started toward them, by now Ted and Sam were scared, and they started running. But when they finally stopped, they decided that they were being foolish. They weren't sure they weren't sure what had scared them, but they had decided to go back and to get another look. Pretty soon, they saw it, for it was coming to meet them. It was wearing black pants, a white shirt, and black suspenders. And Sam said, "I'm going to try to touch it, and then we'll know if it's real." And he walked up to it, and he peered into its face, and it had bright, penetrating eyes that sunk deep into its head, and it looked like a skeleton. Ted took the one look and screamed, and again, he and Sam ran, but this time, the skeleton followed them. And when they got to Ted's house, they stood in the doorway and they watched it. It stayed out in the road for a while. Then it disappeared. A year later, Ted got sick and died. Toward the end, Sam sat up with him every night. The night Ted died, Sam said he looked just like that skeleton. Oh my gosh. Read these if you dare. It is a dark and creepy night. No stars seen bright. Have a happy Halloween to all, and to all a good night.